So Gary, tell us a little bit about what you're building and why you're doing it.
Um, so yeah, so Hearby is really what we're trying to get at is providing new pathways to finding live music, and we've been working in, and I've been working on this for about 4 years, and I've been I'm a data guy. Worked the last 25 years in first fintech and then marketing data. And Ian is a professor of anthropology at MIT. And Ian, his first book was Hip Hop Japan. About really, I'd like his other work about how cultural movements go global from the bottom up. And Ian, I hope you don't mind me sharing this with folks, but I'm sure you won't. But that for an anthropologist, field research means living with the people, and for Ian, that meant 10 years of living in nightclubs in Japan. Um, and so we got to see a lot of music together, and there's this frustrating thing that we all know, right? That it's so difficult to find live music, information on live music. It's so fragmented. It takes so much time, and we looked at that and said, why? Why is that? And I saw it as a data problem, and Ian saw it as a social matching problem. And as I say, 4 years later, we launched Hereby with great timing in March across the top 20 US cities and metro markets. And our aim is twofold. To the most shows, to provide the most shows that's out there, to try and cover absolutely everything we can, to solve this problem of not being able to find things easily. And in Boston, our hometown, that's exactly the issue, Boston, Cambridge. And if you look at sort of our stats for one day in February, you'll see that we had 2 to 3 times the number of shows daily per compared to all the incumbents in the space. Bands in town do 6 or 7, etc., including the Boston Globe, Herald, traditional purveyors, or used to the old purveyors of this type of content. So that's Boston. One night in New York in March, 258 shows. In I can't see which way that is. That's San Francisco, Bay Area.
That's Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, 188 shows. 190 shows that night in the Bay Area. 93 shows in Houston. And what we've done in March is launched across the top 22 US cities. We will be released across North America and the UK with 100 cities by the end of this year. And whilst it is an unfortunate time to start a business about people gathering together, we were fortunate enough to talk to investors in London in the first week in March, just before the lockdown. And we just completed a round a couple of weeks ago, led by Nemia Capital out of the UK. And so, rather than retrench, we've been lucky enough to be able to expand and use these funds for expansion globally. What we in addition to the most shows, we're covering the most. We try to cover every venue we can in the community, and we're gathering a lot of information here on a lot of all the shows with artists. You can see in Boston there are just under 1,000 artists currently operating in Boston, and what we're doing here is trying to compress the decision time. We want to show you the shows in a really efficient way. We want to show you new pathways into finding the shows. If you see on the top right there, there's a playlist of all the shows tonight in Boston, or that night. And we're seeing, all the artists that we can break down by genre. And if you look at these, you'll see that you can click on Spotify, top song in Spotify on every artist. And I can't quite show you this because this isn't live, but if you hover over the artist, you'll see all the links to the 6 music sites and to their social media. So we're trying to compress, not only, the thing is that if by providing so much data, then the question becomes about how do we help people find pathways through it? And that's something you'll see a new version of this coming out in a couple of weeks from us that's going to really get at this. And then we also, along that same vein, provide, we employ bloggers in each of the cities, providing this type of sort of listicle type of, where do we go see? What do we go see? And we plan to expand that to users being able to put up their favorite stuff. Ian, do you want to sort of jump in here before we sort of summarize?
Yeah. We don't have that much time, so I'd love to get like the overview of what you're doing, given the fact that people aren't going to shows now, and how you move forward based, as someone who's an amazing team with multiple exits and highly qualified and can build this stuff, and ran smack into there being no shows. So how does this work moving forward, given the uncertainty?
Well, one thing is that we expect things to open up eventually. I mean, we're fortunate to have enough funding to survive for another year, at least, and then hopefully, and things are already starting, little inklings here and there. It's a very big question. We want to encourage people to go out, but we want people to be safe. And finding that balance is going to be important. And of course, we want to err on the side of safety. By the same token, live music is in some ways irreplaceable. And I think we're finding this with the streaming. It's good, it's great, it's better than nothing, but it's not that transcendent experience you can have in a group. So we're going to be tracking as things open up. We're going to try to see how the safety of things look, but also take the long view. That we believe live music is going to come back. I know there's people saying it'll never be the same, it'll never happen. And it's possible. I can't predict the future. But as an anthropologist, what I know is the social power of music and the social power of getting together in a context with people and finding something through your friends, through your acquaintances, or through whatever technology we have to find something you didn't know was out there. It's easy to find music if you know it's out there, but it's very difficult to find things you don't know about. And so new approaches to search, new approaches to discovery, building community, building ways to talk about it, and really working the bottom of the pyramid, the emerging artists, is where we believe there's a huge opportunity to scale. That you can scale by having 80,000 people in a stadium, but you can also scale by having 2 more people go to an extra 40,000 shows. And that's the number of shows we were grabbing in March. If even 2 more people went, you'd fill an 80,000 person stadium. And that's the excitement and the promise that we still believe is out there in the future.
Very cool, very cool. Does anyone have any particular questions for these guys? Let's pull down the screen share.
Oh, right, yeah, that's a good idea.
No? Okay, so any particular wrap up you guys want to do? Tell people, bring it on home in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, but please check out the site. We're on the App Store, we're on Google Play, and our website is here.by. We'd love to hear from you. You haven't heard of us because we've just launched and we haven't started marketing yet. We are encompassing, what you saw on that last slide was the ability to search by all the bands by genre, and what we will shortly be launching sort of streaming activity of all the bands. We're really looking to be able to map. We're going to be in a situation to map what's going on as music shows recover, and I think that's going to be very interesting.
And I just want to give a shout out to San Francisco MusicTech. We visited a few years ago. We had such a good time, and the community is so great. I've really been enjoying the range of discussions today. It's such a great community, and congratulations, Brian, Shoshana, and the whole team. It's really an impressive group, so well done.
It's people like you who are so amazing who keep cycling through that allow us to do this. So thank you very much. Big hand for Ian and Gary.